Hi guys. So I thought I would just do like a little update. Just trying to make sure that everything is in focus. So it has been 2 months since I had the baby, and I don't think I've done like an update at all. And I keep wanting to include him and introduce him, which I'll need to do that, but it's just been very hard. Just a couple thoughts, just chatting here, but as far as what I've seen, I feel like it's rare for anybody to talk about how hard it is. And it's been very difficult. He's my third, and you'll hear this a lot, which after a while it gets annoying, but it's like every baby's different, every pregnancy's different, and it's absolutely true, but it kind of is annoying to hear that. And so, as you know by now, if you've seen the birth vlog, it was a rough delivery. Like, it was fast, but it was rough because I tore, in the video, I think I said 2nd degree. When I read the report, it said 3rd degree. So I don't know what it is. It felt like 3rd degree. And so with him, it's been harder. I think it's been really challenging because he had a rough start with his tongue and his lip tie. I've really struggled here. Like, at the beginning, people would ask me how I was doing, and mentally I was stable, and that felt nice because throughout the whole year and most of the pregnancy, the whole pregnancy, I would cry a lot and be depressed due to a job that it wasn't a good fit, but we'll just say it wasn't a good fit. And it was really difficult for me. It tore me down as a person, and just, feeling incompetent. And there was a lot of emotions with that, feeling inadequate. And so I think I spent most of the time, like I said before, not present in the pregnancy and really struggling with depression, not knowing kind of what to do, at this stage, just having everything on my plate. It was a lot. So fast forward to now, I don't know if that affects the baby. I have family members who say, don't cry. Like, you're supposed to be happy. Everything is supposed to be positive because you don't want it to affect the baby. I don't know if that's a wives' tale or not, but the fact that he cries so much makes me believe that it affected him somehow. I'm sure he won't remember this when he's older. I'm sure he'll be fine. It's just right now, as I'm sleep deprived and handling my other 2 kids, it's really rough. It's a rough time. And once I had him, I think I was like I feel mentally stable as far as not feeling depressed, which I was really concerned about because of everything else I experienced early on. But he's definitely, I would say, I don't like to say needy, but there's some children that you can place down and they're perfectly content. He'll give me maybe 15 minutes of contentment if he's full and everything is okay. I know he's a newborn and he could be crying because he's cold, because he's hungry, he needs love, and I totally get that. It's a little harder the more kids you have because you don't have that free time to just lay around and hold him. Like, looking back with my first, I thought, I had so much to do when I could have perfectly just sat there all day and held him, like everything else can wait. But this time, it's harder to, especially with the 3.5-year-old around the house. So the challenge has been just balancing everything, feeling like I need a moment to just breathe and be able to, because I pump, and it's harder because I don't make enough, but I'm still holding on to the fact that it is possible to build your supply to be able to exclusively breastfeed, because that's important to me. I go back and forth. Some days I'm like, well, I could do without just so I could sleep, but then it is important, and I don't know if he's our last child, so I'd like to extend it if at all possible and do everything that I can, which is what I'm doing. I'm working on that. But as far as himself, he cries a lot. He has moments where he smiles and he coos, and it's the cutest thing in the world. But for the most part, it's like I always need another pair of hands. And so my 11-year-old will hold him sometimes. If I'm in the middle of pumping and he's screaming, that's he helps me and picks him up. It's a lot easier when my husband's here. And if not, I sometimes have to lay him down and walk away because I've got food on the stove or whatever. Like it just catches us in the middle, and he kind of goes from 0 to 100 in no time. So I'm trying to also get to know him, and it's a tricky stage at the beginning because you're trying to get to know your baby and what they like, and sometimes I lay him down and he likes that, and then other times he wants to be held. So it just takes time for him to also figure out what he likes, which is interesting, I think, to hear because he's so little. But it's been hard for me, and I don't know, there's always going to be mom guilt with whatever things happen. So I'm like, dang, not that I could have controlled any feelings of depression that I had during the pregnancy due to my outside circumstances, but I'm like, I wish I could have controlled it. I wish I was a little, happier, that things were different, and that those are definitely out of your control. You cannot control getting depressed or feeling down. What I had was depression because I had to ask my doctor for help, and I went to a mindful class, which was wonderful. It really helped me. There's different stages, and they said that's where they wanted to start me, and I did, and I met some wonderful ladies, and it was helpful to me. But again, I'm just like, man, I don't remember this with the other two. I could lay them down, as long as they were fed and content, I could lay them down. So the other thing is, maybe this may not make sense to many, but like maybe there's trauma there with his start with the lip and the tongue tie having to be, like taken from us, and the procedures being done, and him, maybe feeling insecure in that way so young, and so he does need more love and more holding. That could possibly be it. So I'm trying to be patient, and sometimes I just lay there with him while he's like, I lay him down, and then while he's crying, like I just talk to him, and then I'll pick him up, obviously, if I'm there with him, but I know sometimes he's fighting sleep. There are so many things that, even being a mom of 3, like you think, but it's just different. So with all that being said, I do want to do like a little update with him. But for now, I just wanted to kind of share those feelings because I see a lot of videos where it's like, 2-month routine, or like when he was a month-old nighttime routine. And those babies look so content and happy, and you should never compare. My friends tell me this who have babies like around the same time, and I get it. But it's just, I think, a natural human thing to be like, oh man, why does my baby not do that? It takes time for everybody, but I just wanted to put it out there that, maybe it has to be happening to someone else. When I found out about his lip and tongue tie, and I was like not sure what was wrong with my baby, he would just cry, and it could have been the lack of milk. I mean, there's just a variety of things that it could have been, but I remember reading a couple things from ladies who said, they pop off the breast a lot. They cry a lot. They're not satisfied. And I felt this relief, like, oh, wow, I'm not alone. And so I feel the same with this. Maybe it was that. Maybe obviously he's getting older, and I don't know if they're too young to be teething at 2 months, but he's starting to drool a lot. So I got him an amber teething necklace that we got with Landon. It seemed to work. I don't remember her being cranky. Like, I have a lot of friends who say, they're teething. It's been horrible. It wasn't horrible with her. And Nathan didn't have a teething necklace because I didn't know about that. Like the amber necklaces that you place on their skin that apparently there's like no scientific research, but it's anti-inflammatory, and it can be helpful. It was with Landon. Nathan was also not cranky. He was always a content, happy baby. And I don't remember feeling like, oh my gosh, what a rough time he's teething. I don't remember that. So we bought it for him, and hopefully that'll help if that's the case. But they're just ever changing, and I feel like once I get used to like a little routine, something else is up, and it can feel lonely when I have a friend who had her baby a couple weeks ahead, and she's she feeds her, puts her down, like breastfeeds her, puts her down, she's content, falls asleep, just a chill baby. And I don't want to compare, but it's just easy to do that and feel like, when is this stage going to be over? Not the newborn stage, because I love that stage, but it kind of comes with the crying right now, and it drives me crazy. It's rough. It's been really rough. So because again, I made this channel because I wanted it to be a video journal to look back on the memories and also like where I was and kind of my feelings, but also to build a community because it can be lonely. And when you can't get out of the house, like I'm a people person and I like to get out. And my friends are like, oh, it must be hard for you because I know you like to get out. And I'm like, surprisingly, I'm okay with not going out because just feeding and it's just rough and the pumping in the car. I'm okay actually being at home. So I'm like, there has to be a way to build a little bit of community, you know, through YouTube. And so if you've experienced any of this, please share, like, did you find anything that was helpful? Did you just have to like white knuckle it for a few months until they got older and better and they weren't as gassy or whatever? And if this hasn't happened, please leave words of encouragement because it's a trying time and it's so hard for me because I think this idea of this is going to be great because he's a third baby and sometimes third babies are very easy or chill, or that's the idea I thought. Maybe I'm crazy. And that hasn't been the case. Not that that can't be the case in the future. I'm very hopeful that he'll just kind of go with the flow because he's the third. But for now, if you have anything that's helpful, please leave it in the comments. Share something, share a story, share how your experience was. I'd love to read those and just connect in that way and feel like I'm not alone. I know this too shall pass. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to insert a couple pictures here at the end so you can check out. And if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see on the channel, like all the other videos, if you check some out and you like them, please consider subscribing. I'd like to build to the community. And I think that is it for now. I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.